Welcome to Leveling Up with Jonathan, my podcast where I get to share interesting things about business, technology, and personal growth that will level up your life. Today, we get to discuss spreadsheets and are they bad for your business and why? And specifically, I'll talk about common uses of spreadsheets in a business, history of mistakes. I'll share two examples that cost millions of dollars of revenue because of simple spreadsheet mistakes. I'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages of using spreadsheets in your business. And then I'll talk about solutions to spreadsheets for sales, marketing, operations, and customer success in your business. So let's begin. Now, a lot of businesses struggle to find the perfect solution to run their operations efficiently. And that's really a big problem because it means that executives and business owners don't have a clear picture of what's actually going on in their company. They don't have a clear pulse on their business. In this situation, many turn to spreadsheets, which is a cheap and easy way to run your company, at least in the early stages. Now, spreadsheets have multiple large setbacks, such as vulnerability to fraud due to the lack of control over formulas and values. They're also not a good solution for regulatory compliance, carrying a personal risk to directors and business owners. And they're not good for business continuity either. It's hard to make good business decisions when you base them on spreadsheets that either present a different versions of the truth or don't easily visualize the data. So let's talk about some common spreadsheet uses in a small and medium-sized business. You can find spreadsheets in the business plan, for example. Spreadsheets are a great way to build out a rough model for your business. You can use them to track and understand the nitty-gritty technical aspects of your company, including like the legal structure, competitive strengths, weaknesses, and maybe a little revenue plan in there too. But alas, not the best. You could also find spreadsheets in use in checklists and task lists. I like to call these standard operating procedures, and they can be used to track how teams perform certain functions in a business or routines. You could also find them in my favorite projects and task lists. Spreadsheets are really common and used to track different projects, progress, details, specifics about a project that's going on, and even to keep tabs on individuals that need to be covered on a day-to-day basis. One of the most common uses of spreadsheets is, of course, in the accounting department or finance department in your company. Every accounting professional uses spreadsheets in some capacity. In a way, accounting can be considered the main function of applications. Spreadsheets support processes like creating balance sheets, preparing financial statements, setting budgets, and even creating invoices. They can also be used for expenses, tracking, forecasting, and even loan calculation. Another common way you can find spreadsheets is in inventory tracking, and the list goes on and on and on. The gist of it is that you can find spreadsheets in almost every part of your business. But let's now talk about mistakes and the dangers of using spreadsheets in your business. And I like to paint this using two stories. Now, first, in 2012, the London Olympics accidentally sold 20,000 tickets to a swimming event that could only accommodate 10,000. According to a newspaper, they said, a member of staff made a single keystroke mistake and entered 20,000 into a spreadsheet rather than the correct figure of 10,000 remaining tickets. That was expensive. Or how about another one? You would think even big banks would probably have their shit together. Nah, JP Morgan Chase lost over $2 billion due to a spreadsheet error. And it was compounded because of a single miscalculation, and that was fed into other calculations. And specifically, what they had is they had a financial model that, quote, operated through a series of Excel spreadsheets, which had to be completed manually by a process of copying and pasting data from one spreadsheet to another. Sound familiar? And that this should have been automated, but it never was. $2 billion. Ooh, that was an expensive mistake. Now, for many small businesses, Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets is the default choice for collecting important information related to a business. However, as your business begins to grow, you'll quickly realize that you don't have time to deal with the manual labor required to maintain an Excel sheet. Oh my God, so many hours. You'll be soon faced with a business decision. Should you spend time and effort dealing with Excel and risks and all the risks associated with it? Or should you migrate the data into a modern software application that is designed to collect, process, and then display that data in real time so the business can make important decisions quickly? Now, let's quickly, spreadsheets are popular. So let's actually talk about the advantages of using spreadsheets. I'm not saying never use spreadsheets in your business. That's not the point of this. The point is, if you're using spreadsheets, that's a good opportunity that this is very important data to move into some dedicated app to increase productivity, to streamline operations, to multiply productivity by adding automation. Like there's actually dedicated apps that can grow. Is think of it like spreadsheets are your training ground, and then you want to grow into a bigger app. Now, big advantages of spreadsheets. The big one and the obvious one for every small business, and that's probably the most choice, that's probably also handicapping, is that it's free. And businesses love choosing free tools to run and manage their business that's generating thousands, if not millions of dollars in revenue, but they don't want to spend the money on the proper software to actually manage and keep a real-time pulse. So it's a trade-off. Which seems free actually costs you thousands, if not, it's actually probably strangling the growth of your company or business right now. If you've been unable to grow double digits year over year, probably because you're not using the right tech. Granted, other things, sales, marketing, and all the other fun stuff. But let's face it, spreadsheets are easy to use. They're intuitive. There's no intensive training required. So it's very easy to take a employee, bring them in, and quickly onboard them on how you guys use spreadsheets to run and manage your business. There's also formulas that are provided, ready to be used. All the user has to do is just fill in the blank. There's a great opportunity even for collaboration. You have multiple users get access to the single Google Sheet, the single source of truth, or at least hopefully that version, allowing multiple users to work at the same time and see changes live. That's very powerful in today's digital age. You also have a universal file format, which can be opened on most programs, and that's very common. But it all comes at a cost. So let's talk about the disadvantages so that we bring those to awareness so we know what is the cost of using these free tools that our business depends on every single day. Some of the disadvantages are data entry is time consuming and can result in boredom, lower productivity, and inattentiveness that could ultimately lead to, of course, errors in the document. Now, spreadsheets are great for large amounts of data, but that large amounts of data can be overwhelming to view and also time consuming to translate and interpret into reports to find out what's the next actionable step that you need to take right now. Now, there are multiple cases of companies losing millions of dollars simply because of a spreadsheet error, like the London Olympics, when a typo resulted in the sale of 20,000 tickets instead of 10,000. People showed up and didn't have seats, which meant a lot of refunds and costly upgrades. Studies have shown that almost 90% of spreadsheets contain at least one error, and even the most carefully prepared spreadsheets have an error in 1% of all formula cells, and most of them due to human error. And it's worse for managers. It's difficult for managers or management to use spreadsheets to manage their team's daily workload, pipelines, and deals. Maintaining all of that information, this is sales and revenues data that the sales manager needs to be on top of day and week over week to make sure that you're hitting your revenue targets each quarter so you're on track to hit that big goal that you set at the beginning of January. But instead, maintaining all of this information will result in an endless cycle of uploading, downloading, attaching, and emailing, and wasted time. And the last, probably a really good disadvantage is we live in a mobile age, and spreadsheets are not mobile friendly, especially when working with large amounts of data. Now, with all the above risks threatening productivity and revenue, your two core functions in your business, many companies move on to specialized or custom software that is more user friendly And number two, tailored to meet their needs. At my consulting business, Global Builders Club, we help many clients make that smooth transition and instantly start reaping the benefits. One client was losing $20,000 a month in potential revenue because they didn't have a CRM to track and follow up on their leads. They were just getting lost in their email. Of course, they weren't hitting their revenue targets quarter after quarter. So let's talk about solutions. Unfortunately, there isn't enough time to go into all the different solutions because spreadsheets are found in so many different departments in your business, and each one is different, and every business is ran differently. My first recommendation is that you speak to an expert, me, to have them recommend the right solution for your business. So let's talk about some of my favorite, the most common solutions for your business from small to enterprise to upgrade and level up from spreadsheets. And I broke them down to like three categories. There's basically like operations, project management, there's CRM, there's sales and marketing, and then finance are like the three core. Because I like to specialize in like revenue operations, sales, marketing, customer success, and these are the teams in your business that generate additional revenue for your business. So I love to focus and grow them, make them efficient, make them dangerous. So let's look at how we can make your operation and project management more dangerous and 10 times more productive using the new tools. Highly recommend Asana and ClickUp are two really great project management applications that you could get your team in, and management can now start delegating tasks. You could put in, you could manage projects. You could do so much with Asana and ClickUp to manage all the operations and get a pulse on what are people doing, the projects and objectives in your business in real time. It's really cool. Makes it for a great collaboration software. And then also for like, you don't really need Slack too, because all the conversation can be centralized around the context of the ticket or issue that's going on. But of course, you also still have Slack for outside conversations. Inside operations and project management, I put Notion, and I specifically use Notion for standard operating procedures. I find Notion to be the best tool for knowledge management, especially for organization, and SOPs are one I find a critical business, like not just asset, but information that needs to be stored, make sure that it's up to date and it's being used so that your team is like your business is running like a Swiss clock, just on time, like military precision. I love that. But it's going to take standard operating procedures and training to get you there. And that's where Notion, that's where I built my second brain, my clone, my personal assistant. It's in Notion. Now let's talk about my favorite, sales, marketing, and all of that data. All that information, you're going to need a tool. Highly recommend, of course, a CRM. It stands for Customer Relationship Management. If you're not hitting your revenue targets, it's probably because you don't have a CRM or it's not optimized. So I highly recommend, there's two popular ones out there. Of course, Salesforce. I am a senior Salesforce administrator, but I'm not biased to Salesforce. Salesforce is for big enterprise clients, custom clients that want to completely customize the control and build custom business applications to 10x the productivity of their team. That's why I say Salesforce is more of a development platform. It's not just a CRM. So I build enterprise applications that increase the productivity of teams, and it's not just tied to sales. There's a lot of like even operations apps in there, customer service apps. I mean, it's a development platform. So that's where it makes it, that's where it's like, give me all the information there, and then I can move it, play with it. I could build custom applications, modules, notifications, alerts, dashboard. I could do so much. It's so powerful. So powerful. Then of course, runner up is also HubSpot. HubSpot is also like a development platform ish. You could build and customize your CRM to tailor it to your business. And then I also like this. You can also, for businesses that don't need Smartsheets and Salesforce because they are very complex, they are very expensive, and they take an expert to come and set it up correctly for your business. I like using the analogy. It's like getting a Ferrari shipped to your door. The only problem is that you need an expert to come and assemble it, and assemble it and tailor it to your business. That's the only downside. But once you have it running, it's stupid fast. And I like to recommend Smartsheet and Airtable because it's such a versatile. These are like mini development platforms where you can build enterprise or business tools. You could build a CRM in there. You could build a ticketing system in there. You could build content management system in there. Like you could customize and tailor it to meet whatever business needs that you have. And lastly, if it's anything finance related, super simple, just start using QuickBooks. It's very simple and easy to use, and it's going to give you the tools and power that you need to manage the finances for your business, especially such as cash flow, so your profit and loss statements, and then also to even do forecasting. Highly recommend. Now, if you use spreadsheets in your business, you've probably grown tired and frustrated constantly maintaining them. Thanks to today's reliable, modern software, business processes are no longer manual and they can be automated, saving thousands of hours and labor and productivity gains. Not only is the process more streamlined, but you'll also gain real time data, which allows you to properly forecast and project where your company is headed and where it is right today and what you need to do to close that gap. Modern software instead instead of spreadsheets, using modern software instead of spreadsheets will revolutionize how you look at your business information. And so, if you would like an expert to audit your business to make sure that you have the right technology to scale your business, you can click the link below and get in touch with my team. I would love to level up your business. Like, seriously, I love scaling sales, marketing, and operations for business. I love that. Oh, I love making teams more efficient and more productive. Oh, do more with less. Anyways, I'm Jonathan Acuna. I hope you learned something. Stay blessed.